One. I said we're live.
You want me to check?
We should be live, but I'm trying to check right now, to be honest.
I see it. It says upcoming event.
Oh, okay, I see it now. Yeah, we're live. Buffering.
Yeah, it's up on my. I can see it.
Talk. Say something.
Yeah, it's up. Shalom.
All right, we're good. We're good. All right, Shalom. It's from the GMS camp, GMS Raleigh. Before we want to first of all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His begotten Son, Yahweh,
Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem Wakakodash.
The Apostle was a great millstone teaching us who said truth according to the well and peace and blessing so elect the nation of Israel, take their spirit and power of Yahweh to the Lord by lesson. The title is going to be the days, because this is the times that we are in now. We are in the last times. We're at the end of the world. The world being the end of the age. A time period to where wickedness will have dominionship over the earth. You see, and we're coming to the end of that, where righteousness is about to flourish, where the kingdom of heaven is going to be established in the very near future. In order for the kingdom of heaven to be established, this wickedness, what we call America, Babylon the Great, has to be destroyed. And we have 200 million ICBM nuclear warheads, you see, and the plagues that Yahweh Shema shall bring on, such as the famine, a famine of food. We're buffering. I think we're good. You get it, bro?
Okay. Yeah, it was a little buffer. Stop for a second. I think I hear you right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
That's right. So the disciples, they were inquiring of Yahweh Shai of when the prophecies of Yahweh Shema Shai were going to come to pass. When was his word which he had spoken going to come to pass? You see, the nation of get Acts the first chapter 1 and 6 real quick, because this is the year of us hastening unto the coming of our Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. And as we are hastening unto the coming of our Lord, once again, this kingdom would have to fall.
That's right. This is Acts chapter 1, verse 6. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom of Israel?
That's right, the kingdom to Israel. So that's what they were always asking. That was the question that was on the apostles' mind. You see, without at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel. Go back to Matthew 24 one more time.
Mm-hmm. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 3. And it reads, And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be?
Mm-hmm.
And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
That's right, which is the end of the age. So Yahweh Shema Shai, he's giving us prophecies. He's giving us his word. The Holy Scriptures, the Bible in these last days. And it's a mystery which he has revealed unto his servants the prophets. You see, and we as the watchmen of Yahweh Shema Shai are to, with to link up, the prophecies, with the news that's going on, and we are to warn the people. You see, because we now have been given the secrets of that we are in the last days, because we see, the prophecies coming to pass. You got something?
Um, yeah, I got something, but it can wait if you want to get something else.
No, go ahead.
It's Second Ezra chapter 8. Um, yep, verse 68. I mean verse 63. So like
Mm.
it says, "Behold, O Lord, now hast thou showed me the multitude of wonders which thou wilt begin to do in the last times."
That's right, because the Lord, through the angel Uriel, showed Ezra the prophecies. He showed them the vision. You see, and like it tells you in Habakkuk the second chapter, to write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. You see, so this vision, the prophecies have been given to us by the former prophets of Yahweh Shema Shai. You see, and now we are running to the highways and byways to warn the people and tell our people that we are in the last days. You see, you got it.
Yep. It reads on, verse 63 from the top. "Behold, O Lord,
Mhm.
now hast thou shown me the multitude of the wonders which thou wilt begin to do in the last times, but at what time thou hast not shown me."
Keep going.
And chapter 9, verse 1, he answered me then and said, "Measure thou the time diligently in itself."
That's right. So we're supposed to be measuring the times. You see, how do you measure times? By first and foremost, you gotta know what's going on. You gotta know the names of Yahweh Shema Shai. You got to and believe in those names, and by you believing and trusting in those, you got to know that He is, and that everything that He spoke in before time, in these last times, in these last days, are being declared upon the earth. You see, keep reading.
Yep. Oh, Slacky. This is second Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1, and it reads, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before."
And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, what were some of those signs? Us discontinue from our heritage, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life enter into us once again. You see us going into slavery, cargo slave ships. You see nation rising against nation, kingdom against kingdom, wars and rumors of wars, uppers of the people. These would be part of the signs that Yahweh Shema Shah has warned us from before. Go ahead.
Yep, it reads on. Verse 2, "Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made."
Yeah, then thou shalt understand. You see why? Because you've been paying attention. You've been watching. You see now you have been fully persuaded in your mind that we are at the end days. You see, you have understanding that Yahweh Shema Shai has given us in these last days, and we are seeing eye to eye. You see, we are seeing the clear downfall of our enemies. You see,
Mhm.
keep going.
Verse 3, "Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world."
And is that not what we're seeing? It's really, all through the month of June, the West Coast over there in California, they were having constant earthquakes, throughout the weeks, you know, really daily, almost daily earthquakes, a couple of times a week, you see. and upwards of the people in the world. I mean, if you turn on the news, everywhere, people are protesting, they're rioting. You know, they're fighting for, BLM. They're fighting for vaccinations. They're fighting for a better economy. You see, there's upwards of the people in the world everywhere. Why? Because when the wicked bear fruit, the people are going to mourn. You see,
That's
in
right.
these last days, the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. You see, and that we understand that Esau, Edom, being the wicked that the Bible speaks of, the so-called man today, that he is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. You see, you got it.
Yep. Reads on. I'm going to read 3 again from the top. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and upwards of the people in the world, verse 4, when then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee,
Hmm.
even from the beginning.
That's right. From the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. You see. I got precept real quick.
Mhm.
This is First Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 1. But the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. You see? And why is that? Because we've been watching. You see? We've been paying attention. And we already have the words of Yahweh Shema Shai that were spoken before. You see? It says, for yourselves know perfectly. See, we know. We have the knowledge of Yahweh Shema Shai. We have been anointed to understand this truth. It says, for yourself know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. So the day of Yahweh Shema Shai is going to come as a thief in the night. Upon who? Upon those who are asleep, those who are not watching, those who aren't taking the warning of Yahweh Shema Shai seriously, that we are at the end of days, and with great violence shall this great city Babylon be overthrown and destroyed. You see? And that violence is going to be what? Once again, the cannibalism. You see, the Gurga troops, kicking your door, hauling off your concentration camps, force vaccinations, force the MOTB, which is the RFID chip, the mark. You see, the charagma, spoken about in Revelation 13 and 16. It reads, 1 Thessalonians 5 and 2, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord shall come as a thief in the night, for when they shall say peace and safety, and that's all, and you turn on the media, that's all they're really talking about. Go get your jab. Go get your jab. You see, because why? It's a form of them feeding you that if you take this, things are gonna get better. Better times are gonna come. We're gonna go back to normal. You know. It says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." That sudden destruction is going to come upon our people. You see, as travail upon the woman with child, like when a woman. Can you get that precept in Ezra, bro? The 16th chapter.
Yep.
The birth pains, because when these labor pains come, they're not. When a woman, which I'm gonna read it again. It says, "As travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." So just as a woman, when she's about to give birth, those contractions come. They get closer and closer until the baby comes, and you cannot escape the labor pains. You see, just as America and those who are joined onto this system are not going to be able to escape the wrath of Yahweh Shema Shai in these last days. You got it.
Yep. And if I can say something real quick, bro,
Yeah.
just on those calamities, any brother that's been the emergency room when a woman's giving birth, that each contraction, like the brother was saying through the spirit, it comes one after another, and the woman will tell you the first one, and to the second one, to the third one, they don't give you enough time. Like the contractions don't even give you enough time to get over the first one. So these things that are gonna come, they're gonna be coming in like rapid succession, man. You're not gonna even be able to like shake back from the, and he, does what does what he says he's gonna do. It's nothing that you're gonna be able to prepare for, man.
Yeah. I got something for you real quick.
Come.
This is Amos 5:18. It says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light." Verse 19, "As if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand upon a wall, and the serpent bit him."
That's right, man. It said, "Woe to them that desire the day of the Lord," man. That's talking about the hypocrites, right? The hypocrites that say, "Oh, I can't wait till the Lord come back. I can't wait to see, who the word ignorantly calls Jesus, right? I can't wait till the Lord come back." Woe to you who desire the day of the Lord, because one, you're not doing the things that you need to do to be even ready for the Lord to come back, man. And two, it says, "What end is it for you?" We know the end. Woe means death and destruction, man. Death and destruction is coming to those who are not following, the ways that they need to be following to, reach salvation, man. And it says, if you can read that other verse again, it's like,
You're good. Verse Amos 5:18, "As if a man did flee from a lion, and the bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand upon a wall, and the serpent bit him."
right, like we were just saying through the spirit, man. When it says go from a lion to a bear and then to a serpent bit you. That's the situation you're going to be in. Like the spirit, we were saying, you're going to go from one thing to another in rapid succession. You're going to go from, you might be able to flee away from the famine. You might find some food, but then you might try to find some shelter. You find some shelter, you might run into some cannibals. You run into some cannibals, you might literally run into teeth of wild beasts that you have to fight yourself from, like the calamities and woes, death, destruction that the Lord is going to bring upon this world, man. People are not going to be ready for it, man. It's going to be happening nonstop once they really pick up. Because right now we're in the beginning of sorrows, man. Wars and rumors of wars and things and such. But when the Lord kicks these things off, you're not going to be able to, prepare for it.
Mm-hmm. Finishing it off, it says, "Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it?"
That's right, man. And shouldn't it be that way? The true followers and believers who are actually reading and learning and sincerely, fulfilling whatever it is they need to do, whether it be, preaching or just helping the ministry, they'll know that what this place is gone, man. Why? Because the Lord is going to bring these things because wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, man. So the day of the Lord, it needs to be darkness. People need to go through this. The heathens are a foregone conclusion, but our people, 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, y'all need to go through this so that what you'll get judged, and then what you'll be brought into the kingdom of heaven through the loins of the elect, man. Because y'all have been seduced by the wicked and the rest of these heathens, and this just has to happen. You know.
That's right. Scriptures talk about how death is better than continual sickness. You see, and whatsoever a man sow, that shall he also reap. They have
That's right.
sowed wickedness in the world, and that's what they're going to reap, a judgment for their wickedness. You want to get that Second Ezra 16? Can you start at 22? Actually, jump around a little bit. Start at
Yeah.
21.
So
Uh,
21.
start at 18, and then we'll jump around. We'll read this, and then we'll read the plagues.
Okay. This is Second Ezra,
Start 17.
chapter chapter. You said chapter 16.
Verse 17.
Yep. Verse 17. Woe is me! Woe is me! Who will deliver me in those days?
And this is the prophet Ezra asking, because he's seen a vision of the terrible destruction that Yahweh Shema Shai was going to bring upon the earth, you see? And he was afraid. You see, let me get that Habakkuk, the third chapter, real quick. Because we have seen the visions, the former prophets have seen the visions, and they were afraid, you see? This is Habakkuk 3:2. O Lord, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Lord, revive thy work in the midst of years. In the midst of the years, make known in wrath, remember mercy. So in the time of wrath, we're praying that Yahweh Shema Shai remembers mercy, because when we heard these words, we were afraid. We're terribly afraid of Yahweh Shema Shai, and so much that we give up time out of our days to do lessons. We give up time out of our days, to make sure that we throughout our day we make sure we keep the commandments to the best of our ability, because we know and understand that there's going to be judgment in the last days, for all the evildoers upon the earth. You got it, bro. Verse 18.
Yep. Yep. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings,
Mm-hmm.
the beginning of famine and great death.
So the beginning of sorrows, the beginning of great mournings, the beginning of death. You see, that's the times that we are entering to. It's going to get even worse than it is now. Everyone thinks that 2019 was bad. 2020 was even worse, and now 2021 isn't getting any better. Well, things, once again, just like those birth pains, things are gonna only get worse and worse. You see, you think seeing one nigga get shot, in the news once a month is a big thing. Wait until Jake is being mowed down in the streets by different militia groups when this deal goes down, when the economy collapses, because the Lord has lined up the dominoes. You see, he's about to knock them down. It's about to be a domino effect. You see? You got it, bro. It says, read it from time to time.
Yep, from the top, verse 18. Yep. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings,
Mm-hmm.
the beginning of famine and
Yeah.
great death.
Yep. So the beginning of famine. You see, the lack of bread, the lack of what does a lack of bread bring? It brings rioting, it brings looting, it brings cannibalism, and it also brings people submitting to the higher authority. You see, which is gonna be when they bring in that chip. You see, and all those who take that chip shall have their part in the lake of fire, which burneth forever and ever. You see, which is America being destroyed by those nuclear missiles. You got it.
Yep. It reads the beginning of wars
That's
and
right. You got the class wars, the race wars. You got the vaccinated Americans and the unvaccinated Babylonians. You see, there's a war on every side. The Egyptian is going to rise against the Egyptian. It's going to be Esau versus Jacob. In these streets. It's gonna be a war, and then you have the war Armageddon. You see, World War III, the war that end all wars. You got it.
yep, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear.
And the power shall stand in fear. It's gonna get so bad that the elites are gonna be afraid. You see, the ones who thought they were pulling the strings the whole time, because this thing's gonna get out of control. Yahweh Shema Shai is gonna heighten it up, far beyond all that they hoped for. You see, you got it.
Yep. It reads on, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils.
Mm.
What shall I do when these evils shall come?
That's right. The beginning of evils. Evils is a compound word. Eve, meaning time, and ill meaning bad. You see, the beginning of bad times. And Ezra is asking, what shall I do when these bad times shall come upon the earth? What are we going to do? Well, we are going to be calling upon the names of Yahweh Shema Shai for the Lord to help us. Because why? Because we're making our bodies those living sacrifices now. You see, so that in those times our prayers may be heard. You see, that bro's going into whatever your lot is to help the ministry. Keep going, bro.
Verse 19, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as as scourges for amendment.
That's right. So Yahweh Shema Shai, here it is. He's bringing, some of these things are coming now across the four corners of the earth. It just hasn't hit Babylon the Great yet. You see, the Lord is showing you how He can bring society low. You see, and you're supposed to see these things and say, why didn't you get my act together? Dang, the God of the Bible must not be happy. But if you're so indulged in the media, being fed lies, the propaganda that they're pushing, you're gonna believe that, oh, that's just normal. That's just a Mother Nature. You see, science, we have an answer for why this is happening in this part of the world, why earthquakes are increasing. You see, why there's food shortages. Oh, it's because the wicked president of it's because Yahweh Shema Shai is crippling the world economy. You see, and these other nations are suffering. It's going to lead to a full collapse. With Babylon the Great feeling the full brunt of it. You see, you got it, bro.
Yep. You want me to hit 20 or jump?
Read down to 22.
Oh, kind. Yep. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 22. For
Start
many,
321 and 22, and then we'll get to the birth pains.
okay, kind. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth.
That's right, and that's what you're seeing right now. You're not in the camera, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you good. It says victual shall be so good cheap upon the earth. You see, and if you go to your Best Buy, your Kmart, whatever you want to do, the Apple Store, they're gonna offer you the best deals, zero finance down. You see, you got you got people. You still have them sending certain people unemployment checks, levels of stimulus checks. You see. So victual shall be so good cheap in the earth. You can go literally, zero finance, zero everything's dirt cheap right now. You see, because they want to get everyone in the state of being comfortable here. You see, you got it.
Yep. It reads on verse 21 from the top. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case.
Meaning what? They've been deceived. You see, by gifts. Scriptures say, "Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and the gift destroyeth the heart." You see, when this man put zero APR interest on everything, 12 months, 24 months. You see, just buy it. You see, just here you go. He's basically giving this away. You got it.
Yep. It reads on that they shall think themselves to be in a good place, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion.
That's right. So sword, famine, and great confusion, you see, is growing in the earth. You see, and we see that when we watch the news, when we turn the media. That's why is all hell breaking loose in these last days? Because it's Bible prophecy. You know, once again, you're gonna see more death in the streets. And so much that when these Gurga troops kick in, when these Gurga troops hit the streets and try to bring in their order, well, the people are going to rise up and fight against them. You see, that's how bad it's going to get out here. Where you're going to see the government versus the people in the city. You got it.
Verse 22. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine,
Mm-hmm.
and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
That's right. So those who don't grab up swords, which is the modern day gun, and go out and try to fight for their food, you see, well, you're going to die of famine. You see, and though you might have, taken arms, you might have prepped, you might have your little gang of people, ready to go for these last days. 'Cause a lot of people understand that this economy is about to collapse, but you got doomsday preppers. You got even day of the circumcision promoting their congregation to get weapons. Well, all those people, those who live by the sword, are going to die by the sword. You see, there's no escaping the wrath of Yahweh Shema Shai at the end of the day.
Yep. Can I get some real quick?
Yeah, you got it. I want to get something too.
Yep. This is Lamentations chapter 4, verse 9.
Mm.
They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger.
That's right. So what is this telling you? In that day, if you don't got Yahweh Shema Shai, you might as well go and ride, because
Mm-hmm.
dying the most gruesome way, by way of a weapon, by way of being beat to death, you see, is way better than you going through those hunger pains. You see, a slow, painful death. You see, where you're
Mm-hmm.
going to be so hungry, you're going to be weak. You're going to be hallucinating. You see, you're gonna want to commit cannibalism, but what? You're too weak. You see, you got it.
Yep. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger,
Mm-hmm.
for these pine away, stricken through the want of the fruits of the field.
That's right. You know what? Your body's gonna be eating itself. You're gonna be starving to death. And it's once again, it's better to die by the sword than to die by hunger. You see, and many are gonna die of the famine. The Lord has out for you people. You see, He has He's gonna cause. How is the famine gonna be happen? Well, the trucks are gonna stop. Everything, the whole system is gonna shut down. You see, we see what happens when a hurricane comes. You see, they have what, 3 days of grocery supply in the store. Well, when you have a a surplus of buyers, you see, really people who are just going to be looting. Well, all of that food is going to be gone. Every supply is going to be gone in a matter of hours. You see, and there's not going to be any food left. And that's going to cause what? People breaking into each other's houses. You see, which we can get that real quick. I'll get that real quick. You got another precept you want to bring out?
Yeah, but I have to once I need to do something real quick.
Okay, I got something.
Okay.
This is Second Ezra chapter 15, verse. I'll go straight to the point. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. So a man shall have no pity, meaning mercy upon his neighbor. His best buddy Bob that he knew for the last 20 years, he's not going to show him any mercy. Why? Because it tells you in Matthews that because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. Meaning what? You're gonna have gangs of people kicking in their neighbors' houses. The guy that lives up the street that they know that has all type of food. In his pantries, that's loaded up inside his garage with food. You see, you're gonna be kicking in their doors and taking all their goods. You see, not only taking their goods, but putting that guy to death. You see, him and his household. It says, and spoil their goods, meaning to steal their goods. You see, whatever resources they have, whether it be toiletries, whether it be batteries, whether it be a water, a clean clothes. It says, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread. You see what a famine brings? It brings rioting, it brings looting, it brings people fighting against one another. It says because of the lack of bread and for great tribulations. So for the great tribulations that are coming upon the earth, you see, people are going to be fighting against one another. And who ultimately is bringing all this? The Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai. I got one more.
Hmm?
This is Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. So the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, He's the one that's creating the evils on the earth. You see? I, the Lord, do all these things. So the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, He's the one bringing these evils, and it's all judgment that Yahweh Shema Shai has prescribed for the wicked. You said you got something?
I think you bring it out. You bring out Second Ezra 15.
Yeah. I had brought that out.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
got one real
Let's see.
quick.
Yep.
You can break it down. This is Sirach
Okay.
40:9, and it reads, "Death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge, these things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood."
That's right, man. All those things the Lord is going to bring for the wicked, right? We know the wicked to be the so-called white man, but what? 2/3 of our people, right, are following after philosophies, after the ways of the wicked, man. So they're going to catch the same thing that's going to come to the so-called white man, and the rest of these heathens, right? And all these things that are being brought onto them is because what? They don't hearken unto the wisdom, knowledge, understanding of these scriptures. They don't hearken unto the man that was set up to send this word out, to send this warning out. So, like, can you read that ending one more time?
God, I'll read it from the top. It says, Sirach
Okay.
40:9, "Death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge, these things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood." So
That's right.
you got
And
it?
oh, Slack.
Now you got
Yeah,
it.
Slack. Yeah, Slack. Yeah. I want to just, yeah, I want to just bring that last word out, scourge, because scourge goes into punishment.
Mm,
And the Lord already said that what he was going to punish us for our iniquities, right? In Amos 3 verses 1, 2, right? That what he was going to judge Israel for their iniquities, punish Israel for their iniquities, man. And that's what he's doing. All the bloodshed and all that stuff. Look at what's going on in Cuba, man. You know, bloodshed, people getting snatched up for speaking out and things of such. All these things are happening because what it said for the wicked and for their sakes came the flood. Because what people are acting in that same flood, it's like a whole lot of flood-like behavior going on, right? The men of the Lord are out there preaching in a allotted time that the Lord had it set up. But what? People are mocking, they're scoffing, they're doing this and that, misusing the prophets. But what? The Lord is giving the warning. The Lord is in all fairness. So what? When He brings that, because we know it's not going to be a flood, but the quote unquote flood again, which is going to be with fire this time, it's going to be justified because you Jakes aren't hearkening at all to what's going on. And if you are, you're following after false leaders and pastors that are leading you astray.
that's right. Yeah, the scourge is a whip, an instrument for punishment.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. You got anything you want to bring out? I got two
No,
more.
we can go with yours.
Con, we'll get that second Ezra 16. We'll finish that out, and then we'll get Second Peter's the third chapter.
I got one thing, one quick thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep, this is Second Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come.
That's right, and we're living in the last days. You see, perilous goes into dangerous, savage. And this is a savage generation. It's what they promote amongst themselves, and that beast-like behavior is gonna come out. It's gonna be a doggy world out here. Everyone for themselves, and so much that women are gonna be boiling their kids for a meal. You see, people are going to be setting one another up. You see, it's going to get so bad that cannibalism is going to be everywhere. You know, what do you think is going to happen when this famine? What do you think? Why do you think they push these apocalyptic movies? You know, when they show those things, women are going to be out here getting ravished. You see, you can read in between the lines. You see when they have no protection. You know, so perilous times, dangerous times. And those who abide under the shadow of the Almighty are going to be the only ones that are going to be protected from this hell that's coming upon the earth. You got it, bro.
John, you want to read down verse 2?
Yeah, I mean, whatever Spirit says.
Yep. For men shall be lovers of their own selves,
And we see that men shall be lovers of their own
covetous.
selves. Yeah, there's, like I said, covetous, you see? Because what? This is a covetous generation. You see, everyone is on the social media saying, look at me, look what I have. And then what? They're covetous. When they see what another person has, they want those things, you know? And so much that they'll do anything to take those things from that person. You know, rob, steal, kill, and destroy them. You got it?
Yep. It reads on. Covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers.
It said covetous, boasters.
Disobedient to.
Now, sorry, there's a little delay. Proud, boasters. It says disobedient to parents. You see, and this is a proud generation. You see, there's a generation whose eyelids are lofty. You see, and someone who is proud cannot be told when they are doing wrong. You see, they believe in their minds, in their heart of hearts, that they are doing right. You see, and through that pride, you know, they're on that rocket that's going to lead them straight to destruction. You see, and it said disobedient. Read after pride again. Proud.
Yep. Just proud, blasphemers.
Oh, I'm sorry. It said boasters. You see, look at me. Look what I have. You see, and that that sums it all up. Keep reading, bro.
Yep. Blasphemers.
Mm-hmm.
Disobedient to parents.
Disobedient to parents. You know, on the spiritual tip, all these guys, you know, who came under the tutelage of the Apostle that was a great zone, you know, are basically being disobedient, not continuing the things which they have learned. You know, and also on a worldly scale, you see these people, kids fighting the parents, you know, kids being rebellious, not listening to what their parents got to say. You know, you got it.
Yep. Unthankful, unholy.
Wow, unthankful, unholy. You see, meaning them being unthankful, unholy. You see, unholy meaning what? They're profane. They're outside the temple. You see, they're doing things that are in alignment with the world. You see, and those who are to be friends with this world are making themselves the enemy to Yahweh Shema Shai. You see, and the Lord is coming back to bring vengeance upon his enemies. You see, you got it.
Yep. That was really it on that. Unless you want to keep going.
No, I mean, that was the point. That was the point.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Come on. Let's get that. Let's
Back
get
to
that
second.
Second Corinthians, and then we'll get Peter's, and we'll close out.
Second Corinthians. You were done with the second Esdras?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Second Ezra 16. I can read it for you if you want. And then
Okay, come on.
the third chapter.
I get second Peter's.
You what are you getting? Second Peter's?
Yeah, if you're gonna bring out the Esdras, I'll bring out the second Peter's.
Okay, yeah, I'll bring up Ezra's. This is Second Ezra chapter 16, and I'll start at 35. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. You know, so the servants of Yahweh Shema Shai, we are to understand and hear the words of Yahweh Shema Shai, you know, and understand them, you know, and go out on the highways and byways and speak to the people and warn them of the secrets that the Lord has revealed unto us. it says, "Behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods in whom the Lord spake." You see, so we aren't to believe the gods, the false prophets, the false idols, which I meant to say, that Yahweh Shema Shai warned us about, mainly Esau, even the so-called white man, because he's pushing as if he's the way. You see, that he's the way, that he's the truth, that he's the life. You see, and we know that to be false. You got it, bro. It says, "Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slacked." You got it.
I'm sorry, it broke up a little bit.
I'm gonna read verse 37. You can break it down. It
Mhm.
says, "Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack."
That's right, man. Like we're gonna get Lord willing in the next precept. It says the Lord is not slack concerning His promise, man. And what did He promise? Right? He promised before, the promise that He made to Israel with the kingdom of heaven. He promised, death. He's the sword, famine, death, and destruction. So that's what's coming, man. So the calamities and woes and things that are gonna come to the earth, they draw nigh. They are nigh at hand, and the men of the Lord, the servants, can see those things coming because He revealed those things unto us, man.
That's right. Verse 38. As when a woman with child in the ninth month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb. When
That's right.
you got it.
Yep, that's right. 2 or 3 hours before the birth of the child, right? We're metaphorically speaking, 2 or 3 hours before the child is born is the same thing as because we know the end all be all is going to be what? Nuclear destruction, right? That's going to come uh, chiefly to the place of America with 200 million ICBM nuclear missile warheads that's going to strike down on America. That's the end all be all. That's the baby that's coming. But 1 or 2 hours, spiritually, the times ahead of that, right, are just like the contractions, just like the pains of a woman that's giving birth, man. So every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes, they just get worse and worse and worse and worse, and they don't stop. And we're in the beginning of that now. The Lord is bringing upon a time that's comparable to childbirth. Once the Lord unleashes the reins to where all hell breaks loose, it's going to be like a never-ending horror movie, man, until the end all be all. Just one thing after another, after another, after another.
That's right. And it says, "As when a woman with child in the ninth month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment."
That's
Verse
right. You know, they yep, yep. They slack not for a moment, like with that child. So all these things are gonna happen, but ain't nothing stopping from that baby from coming, man. They're not like after the contractions. There's no point to where, oh well, never mind, the baby's not gonna come. No, those pains are gonna come and they're gonna come and they're gonna come until what? The end all be all. Nuclear warfare, World War III, the war that ends all wars, man. The end all be all, the Lord coming back to usher in the kingdom of heaven, destroying this place called America and any other place He has controversy with, right? And ushering in the kingdom of heaven. Those things are going to come, man.
That's right. Verse 39. "Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and the sorrow shall come upon it on every side." Mm. So, really, all hell's going to break loose, Jacob's going to be in all type of distress state. That's why it tells you in Jeremiah 37, it talks about what? A time of trouble such as never been since the face of the earth, you see? I mean, it's going to get so bad out here. You link it up with parallel to any time in history, well, the time that's coming is going to be worse than that. It says, "Oh, my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle." So you're supposed to be hearing the words of Yahweh by Shema Shai and making yourself ready. See, and the time to get ready is now. You like the other Apostle Hart like to say, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And Yahweh Shai said, "Behold, I come quickly." And as He's coming quickly, we are to watch, because in such hours we think not the Son of Man coming. This deal can happen any day now, any time. Tomorrow on the news, on the evening news, Esau Edom can make this vaccination mandatory in certain states. Eventually, a lockdown's gonna happen again. You see, that's how close we are until to this deal going down. You see, so we have to. It says, "Oh my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle." So this is a spiritual battle. You see, you're supposed to be making yourself ready now, putting on the armor of Yahweh Shema Shai. You see, it says, which is this truth. It says, in those evils and those bad times upon the world earth, which we are, in now, we're entering into even more. And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. So we are to be as pilgrims, spiritually. Now we're pilgrims now. You see, understanding that here we have no continual city, but we seek one to come. You see. That was pretty much the point. We could keep reading, but let's get that second Peter's and we'll close out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which, we'll
Here's Second Peter chapter. Yep. This is Second Peter chapter 3. I'm gonna start at 9. I'm gonna start at 9.
Okay.
Sorry, 8.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna start at 8. Second is a little delay. I'm gonna start at 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. Behold, beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day.
That's right. He's talking to the house of David, Dawadah, King David. That's King's David names in the Hebrew, which means beloved. You see, he's telling us to be not ignorant, meaning not to know that one day in the heavens to Yahweh Shema Shai is 1,000 years upon the earth. You see, so we ought to be patient in the Lord playing out His movie here upon the earth. You see, the time is short. Yahweh Shema Shai is really doing things in minutes, in seconds. You see what I mean? That's how close we are to the kingdom in the Lord's time. You see? You got it.
It reads, verse 9, the Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance.
That's right. It said the Lord is not slack concerning his promise. What did he promise? That he will come in these last days and take down the wicked of the earth. You see, and come and take him out of power. You see, it said the Lord is not slack concerning his promise, but is long suffering to usward. Meaning what? The Lord is being patient. You see, not willing that any of the members of the elect shall be destroyed. You see, that's why if we wish and desire for Yahweh Shai to reign over us, then we must preach this word and feed the lambs of Yahweh Shema Shai, because we have new men and brothers waking up, and few women and children, believers of Yahweh Shema Shai, waking up every day, who need to be comforted by the words of the Lord, you see, and exhorted, you see, to continue in the faith, and that we, through much tribulation, must enter into the kingdom of Yahweh Shema Shai. You got it.
Yep. Verse 10, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
That's right. It
The
says,
earth also.
I'm sorry. It says, you finish it off? Finish it off? My bad.
Okay. and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up.
That's right. So the day of the Lord shall come as a thief in the night. You see, upon who? Upon those who, once again, who are asleep, who are not watching, who see the watchmen, out there on the highways and byways and posting these videos on the YouTube. You see, but are not taking warning, are not preparing themselves, are not repenting, are not amending their ways, confessing their faults to the Lord. You see, getting better. You see, seeking the Lord's face 10 times more, like it tells you in Luke. It said, wherein the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, the heavens being Esau, Edom, so-called white man's rulership, and that great noise, which is going to cause this kingdom to pass away, to be destroyed, is those ICBM nuclear missiles. You see, and that extreme heat is going to melt everything. It's going to melt the elements. Everything you see and cannot see, over here on the shores of America is going to be totally wiped out, and destroyed. That's why it tells you, I believe it's in Habakkuk as well, where he asked the Lord, was thou displeased with the rivers? Was thy wrath against the trees? You see, because everything is going to be destroyed here. You got it. Read down to verse 12. Or
It
verse
reads on.
13.
God. It reads on, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Verse 11. Seeing then that all these things be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?
So you understanding that everything that you see is going to be destroyed, everything people are working for, everything people are working towards, whether it be that race on that job, you see, whatever it may be, you know, understand that all these things are going to be destroyed. Well, how should you be conducting yourself? Should you be under the vibration? Should you be following everyone else? Scriptures say to walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. You see? So we're supposed to be in all holy conversation, meaning our mannerisms and how we act and how we conduct ourselves. You see? It should be holy, separate from this world, pure in the eyes of Yahweh Shema Shai. You got it.
It reads on. Verse 12, looking for and hasting until the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
And that's we're looking for these things. You see, and that's what's important. We're looking for we're looking for America, for nuclear missiles to be shot on America. We're looking for these things. We're looking for a famine to happen. We're looking for the collapse of the society. You see, we're looking forward and hastening unto the coming of Yahweh Shema Shai, because we understand that even though these things are going to come, that it tells you in Revelation the 3rd chapter, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. You see, we understand that we continue to endure, these afflictions, these trials and tribulations, that the Lord is going to preserve us during these times. You see? Go ahead.
Reads on, verse 13, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness.
That's right. You look at the word, nevertheless, in spite of that, or in spite of everything that's going to come, you see, it doesn't matter. You see, we are looking for the new heavens and the new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. You see, in order for you to enter into this kingdom of heaven, you're going to have to put all your stock. You have to invest in this. You have to invest in the kingdom. And how do you invest into the kingdom of Yahweh Shema Shai? With your time. Giving your time to the Lord. Making time out of your day to watch the video, making time out of your day to send up your prayers, making time out of your day to do lessons and to read and to study. You see, that's how you are going to make it unto the kingdom of Yahweh Shai, wherein dwelleth righteousness. You see, where a righteous rulership is going to be established down here on this earth. You see, in the scriptures talk about blessed and holy is he that taketh part in the first resurrection, of whom the second death have no power. The second death is going to be what? Those ICBM nuclear missiles destroying America, and a lot of people are going to face that nuclear fire. At least they repent. But with that, we'll close out. You got any closing statements?
Repent, Israel.
That's right. Because we're at the end of the days. You see, the time when our Lord Yahweh Shai will crack those clouds. With the band of angels, which the world England calls UFOs, which you're seeing in the media today. You see, which he's going to be on the fathership. You see, which Ezra is described as a mountain. You see, but Lord's one assess and that time we give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bashem,
Yahweh, Bashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushai,
Bashem,
Bashem,
Bakar
Recham
Kodash.
Kadash.
The apostle and others, a great millstone, teaching us 1% truth according to the Bible, well, and peace and blessings, self-light of the nation of Israel. Next time we say, Shalom.